Yo, what's good, everybody? It's Sunday, so you know we're talking about roster updates. There's only going to be a few more roster updates before the playoffs start, and then there's going to be one big one once the playoffs are over. If you want to make stubs, if you're trying to get stub rich, then you have to invest right now in cards. If you like this sort of content, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, it helps out a ton. The first guy we're talking about is Julio Oreos. He is on the road to Diamond, and I believe that this roster update is gonna be the right one. Since the last update, 2.5 hits per 9, 8 strikeouts per 9, and 4 walks per 9. So the 4 walks per 9 is kind of a little alarming. It's not great. However, for the whole year, Oreos has been really good at limiting walks. I gotta believe that they won't deduct too many points from his walks per 9 attribute. With 2.5 hits per 9 over the past 2 weeks, that 89 hits per 9 attribute is gonna get a solid bump. His 61 Ks per 9 may stay the same. It may get a slight uptick, but I believe that the hits per 9 number has been so good that Julio Oreos is definitely gonna get the bump up to Diamond. Christian Walker is a guy that we talked about on the last roster update, and he didn't quite get up to 85. He did get the bump to 84. His biggest problem is that 40 contact versus right. Well, since the last roster update, he's batted 407 versus right-handed pitching. In that time, he also has 2 home runs and a double against righties. But honestly, we're not really concerned whether or not they up his power or anything like that. What we need to see is him stay steady in all the other categories and just get a little better in that contact versus right. Well, 407 should get us there. He should get the bump up, and Christian Walker should be a brand new Diamond. Zach Gallen has been absolutely on fire. He just got a Player of the Month card, 3.62 hits per 9, 10.54 Ks per 9, and a 1.65 walks per 9 over the past 2 weeks. Zach Gallen is definitely in line to get that bump up to Diamond. He may see a little bit of an increase to his hits per 9. He should definitely see an increase to the Ks per 9 and walks per 9 number. Zach Gallen may very well actually end up at like an 86, 87. I don't know for sure. I'm not counting on that, but he will definitely get to 85. Jason Adam is a guy that we've loved for a very long time now. His biggest hole has been that walks per 9 number. He has been incredible on the season, and 69 walks per 9 has not given him enough credit. There is an issue though. At this moment in the past 2 weeks, he has 3.72 walks per 9. So unfortunately, that walks per 9 number may actually get a decrease a little bit. I hope not, because he's been incredible for the whole year. So I'm thinking that SDS is not going to completely screw him over in that number. But he also has 3.72 hits per 9 in that time period and 13.03 Ks per 9. So we only need to see a +1 increase to his overall, and Jason Adam has incredible strikeout numbers and hitting numbers, and his walk numbers for the whole year have been amazing. I don't think that he's going to get too much of a decrease in his walks per 9, if at any at all. He may very well just keep it at 69, and the strikeouts per 9 are definitely going to go up. His hits per 9 actually doesn't really have too much room for growth, but 3.72 might deserve a increase to that as well. Jason Adams should be a brand new Diamond. Now we moved on to the mid to high gold category. These are the guys that won't quite get up to that Diamond level, but they should get a bump up in their overall. Tommy Edman is a little bit of an exception to that rule. He may very well go Diamond. He's been doing really well. He only needs a +2 bump up. The reason I put him in the high golds category is because I'm just not quite there ready to commit fully to Tommy Edman going Diamond on this update. It may very well come on the last update of the year before the playoffs. He's got a 367 average versus righties with 1 home run and 4 doubles since the last update. And in the same time period, a 625 average versus lefties with 2 home runs and a double. So realistically, Tommy Edman is probably going to get a nice little increase to contact versus right, contact versus left, power right, and power left. That's why he should get at least a bump up to 84. And honestly, again, I could see him getting enough of an increase to get the bump up to Diamond. Next, we're going to talk about 3 pitchers from the Seattle Mariners. The first one is Eric Swanson. Swanson, since the last update, 6.43 hits per 9, 10.29 Ks per 9, and no walks given up. Eric Swanson is in line to get an increase to almost every stat. Certainly that walks per 9, giving up 0 walks, deserves some sort of increase to that 84. And then over 10 Ks per 9 is a much better number than 77. Eric Swanson should get some sort of bump up, an increase up to 84. Andres Munoz is the second Mariners pitcher. 5.87 hits per 9, 14.09 Ks per 9, and 2.35 walks per 9 since the last update. Munoz should actually get an increase in all 3 of the pitching categories: hits per 9, Ks per 9, and walks per 9. He has been doing phenomenal on the year, and he deserves an increase to at least a high gold. And the last of our Mariners pitchers is George Kirby, who has a ton of room to grow in that hits per 9 and Ks per 9. Since the last update, 8.71 hits per 9, which isn't an amazing number, but it's still better than that 58 attribute. And he's also had 10.02 Ks per 9, which is clearly deserving of an increase over that 59 Ks per 9 attribute. He also has 0.87 walks per 9 in that same time period, and although he has a 93 walks per 9 in the game, you may very well see a slight increase to that as well. George Kirby will definitely be getting upgraded during this update. Sean Murphy needs to grow in that contact versus right and the power versus right. Well, since the last update, a 281 average versus righties with 2 home runs. I know what you're thinking, 281 isn't that impressive, but honestly, it's a lot more impressive than that 57 contact versus right. And those 2 home runs should also give him an increase in that 52 power versus right. Sean Murphy's in line for yet another upgrade. And our last mid to high gold candidate is Felix Bautista. 3.27 hits per 9, 11.45 Ks per 9, and a 0.82 walks per 9 since the last update. Felix Bautista should get a healthy increase to his Ks per 9 attribute and his walks per 9 attribute, so he should get another bump up to a mid to high gold. We have 4 silver to gold candidates to talk about. Our first is going to be Lynn. Since the last update, 5.26 hits per 9, 11.57 Ks per 9, and 1.05 walks per 9. Massive amount of room to grow on hits per 9 and Ks per 9, and both of those should get an increase. And that walks per 9 is already at 83, but 1.05 should really give him at least a couple ticks up from the 83. Nick Fortes has been on fire over the past 2 weeks. He's got a 400 average versus righties and a 375 average versus lefties. As you can see, there's plenty of room to grow on both contact versus right and contact versus left. He only needs a +1 boost to get to that gold level. Nick Fortes is being slept on right now. He should be a new gold. Our next potential gold is Joc Peterson. In the last 2 weeks, Joc Peterson has a 389 average versus righties with 3 home runs, and he has a 333 average versus lefties. We should see a solid increase to his contact versus right, his contact versus left, and his power versus right. All 3 of those things get bumped up. Joc Peterson should get the +2 and get himself to gold. And our last candidate for gold is Jesus Lizardo. Lizardo has had a 5.81 hits per 9 over the past 2 weeks and 2.73 walks per 9 to go along with an 8.2 Ks per 9. 83 hits per 9 deserves an increase with what he's been doing. and his walks per 9 is atrociously low at 45. Jesus Lizardo should get a bump up in both hits per 9 and walks per 9 and get himself to that gold level. So those are my predictions for this week's roster update. It is coming on Friday, so do not miss out on investing in any of these guys. If I missed anybody, let me know in the comment section below or catch me on Twitch. I'm on Twitch Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays every night at 11 p.m. Eastern time. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend.